Good morning, everybody. My name is John Hogg, and I'm going to talk to you today just about our experiences through the pandemic. I don't make out that we're special because every business faced the same problems we did, but we had an interesting journey, and we're still on that journey with HubSpot, and that's what I'm here to talk about today. So in terms of what we're going to talk about, I'm going to go right through who we are, what happened, what we did, what we found really helped us along the way, some key steps. We then, unfortunately, we had one of the product directors from HubSpot who was due to be here, but due to the pandemic wasn't allowed, so they shot a video for us, so they're going to talk to us virtually. And then we have EZO, which is the main reason we're here, and we have a little demo at the end. So pre-March 2020, I suppose maybe people talk about AD and BC, maybe we'll have pre-COVID and post-COVID in the future, but at that point, Enlighten IC, we were, I'd say, a boutique agency. I mean, it's an interesting term. We focused very much on professional services and tech, legal firms, accountancy firms, etc., based on my own background, my own career, strategy, content, web, and demand generation. So basically, we're very good at doing the strategy with clients. Then from that, then we looked at how we developed the content, what web assets they needed, so we could then generate the demand at the end of the day. So hence the link with HubSpot. Pre that, I was 16 years in-house, worked for Northern Bank, National Australia, PwC, here, Tunes, and then law firm in Dublin as well. So having done 16 years in-house then in various marketing roles, I decided to set up Enlighten, and that was my first sort of foray. Having been in-house, I wanted to set up my own agency where instead of agencies coming in and pitching to me all the time, I wanted to be an agency that would go around the other side of the table and actually work closely with our clients. So our strategy was a wee bit different. We actually had a small number of clients. That's why I say we're a boutique agency. We weren't just about growth, just about trying to take on as many clients. It was very much, we wanted to go around the side of the table with our clients and help and grow with them. So that was the strategy we adopted. I taught myself to build websites sort of the start of the decade. And I suppose I was sort of skirting around doing inbound without knowing that inbound was actually a thing. I was trying to connect MailChimp. I had Sprite Social. I had various little tools pulled together to try and actually create an inbound model where we would actually create demand for our clients. So that's what I was doing. I was skirting around the areas without actually realizing what it was. I then came across HubSpot. All the content that HubSpot was good at putting out there, and we became a solutions partner in 2017, and that was probably the start of things for us with HubSpot. The start of our journey. I used to see HubSpot as the Rolls Royce, and wow, why would someone like me, a small agency, how could I ever work with someone like HubSpot? So 2017 we made the jump. As I said, we jumped into the abyss. We started our journey using HubSpot then as a solution. So instead of actually trying to connect all those disparate systems, I now had one place to go to actually to build everything. And in 2020, in March, we'd built our first app for HubSpot, which little did we know, as we launched that first app, the world was going to change. So, as I say, mid-2020, bang, all our clients were gone inside 1 week. So our strategy of working closely with clients, or with a small number of them, that put us at risk. So what were we going to do? We still had bills to pay. And I suppose at a time like that, you have to look within before you look out. And it was all about, who were we, what were we good at, and what was off the moment. So I tried to try and think about, what was happening in the world, what were people talking about. So if I go to the who we are, as I say, we're a small agency. We were a team of 4, but at that stage we were a team of 3. We were 1 down at that point of time. I had 16 years in-house marketing experience, 11 years running Enlighten. Victoria, my business partner and wife, she was from a sales background, and she had good sales experience. So I had marketing, Victoria had sales, and we had our own in-house developer. So we worked with a small number of clients. Service delivery and results was what we were interested in, and we were a HubSpot solutions partner. So in terms of what we were good at, strategy, HubSpot, client relationships, and delivery. But the pain, so that was us. So then we're looking at the market and go, well, where's the pain? And the pain in our eyes, if you think back to March 2020 and as the start of the pandemic, the lockdown, everybody was talking about e-commerce. So we looked at e-commerce, we looked at HubSpot, we knew HubSpot inside out. But HubSpot's not a traditional, HubSpot's traditionally a B2B solution. It doesn't have e-commerce. And as a HubSpot partner, there's about 5,500 partners across the world. We all talk to each other in a private Facebook group, and everyone said it can't be done. So it was always, if you wanted to do e-commerce with HubSpot, you had to bolt on Shopify, you had to bolt on BigCommerce, you had to get a headless solution instead. It couldn't be done inside HubSpot. So I thought, well, why don't we have a go at it? As I say, our agency was built very much on professional services and tech, not e-commerce, but end of the day, we now had the time to work it out. That's what I looked at. So we actually worked out the concept pretty quickly. We tore apart, we'd built our first app for HubSpot. We'd started to look at how the development side of things worked, and we started to pull their APIs apart to try and see what was possible. And we actually worked out quite quickly what we needed to do. And I suppose one of the most important things that we did at that time was we spoke to HubSpot. And again, the one thing I would say is that small agency, global player, the one bit of advice we'd give you would be, don't be frightened of them. You know, don't be standoffish. Don't think, oh, they're the big player, they're not going to want to know. I went to them because I had two burning questions. Number one, are we breaking any rules? Are we allowed to use your APIs? I guess I said we'd only built one app for them. We didn't know if we were allowed to do what we could do. But on top of that, was this on HubSpot's roadmap? Because I didn't want to spend all this time building an e-commerce solution for them and find out HubSpot were going to roll one out. Now, obviously, they turned around and said, well, John, we can't answer that question. We can't tell you, what our strategy is. But what we can tell you is, you probably have, if it's not on our roadmap now, you probably have 2 to 3 years before we would actually look at delivering a solution like that, or the time it would take us to deliver a solution like that. So I thought, well, okay, there's a market need. We've got the time in our hands. So I think we'll have a go at it. And that approach in HubSpot did two things for us. It introduced us to their ecosystem, the ecosystem team, and they started taking a big interest in us, and they actually started giving us a lot of support. And it introduced us to the HubSpot developer community. And HubSpot's got a number of developer advocates who we can now approach. Instead of going through support, we now have people we can contact directly and say, look, this API isn't working the way we think it's working, or such and such isn't working the way it is. So just taking that moment of approaching HubSpot and talking to them, that then allowed us, give us an in, I suppose, in a sense. It just introduced us to people, and then other people started coming to us, and before we knew it, we had quite a team of HubSpot people that we could reach out to. So it was a big deal, but it was accidental. I didn't know that, I'll be honest with you. I didn't know it whenever I approached them. I just thought, number one, am I allowed to do this? Number two, are you going to do it? Built a relationship, introduced us to developer advocates. We also started getting invited to a lot of beta products as well. So HubSpot's always developing things. So we've got sight of things that are coming down the line now, which was very good. And we knew where to go where we found a problem. And we actually did uncover a few problems. Unfortunately, HubSpot don't have a bounty, but we did find a few things for them along the way, which helped them. So it was a two-way street. Well, I like to think so. But that collaboration has been the key. And I suppose it put us on the map with them. As I say, they started taking an interest in us. So as I say, we built the model. We developed the features we wanted to develop. We built the back-end sort of thing. So this is an e-commerce platform we're building inside HubSpot. So instead of integrating an external e-commerce platform, you log in your HubSpot portal, and you then load up ESO inside it. So we needed that UI to actually work and actually be quite smooth for people. We also then give a free HubSpot CMS theme with the app as well, because if somebody's building an e-commerce store, well, we need to connect with something. And then I suppose the bane of my life is snagging, and then more snagging and snagging and snagging. So I think every day I get up, I'm testing our app, I'm trying things, I'm doing things. And then unfortunately, it's a rinse and repeat. We're a small team. It's just head down 7 days a week. I suppose I should caveat as well, I'm talking about APIs. I'd probably never heard of an API until March 2020. I'm just a marketing guy in a developer's world. I'd never heard of version control. We now have GitHub, work management, we put Jira in. These were all things that I never, until the pandemic hit. And I suppose one of the things I would say is that, yeah, COVID's been horrific for everyone, but when would I have ever had that opportunity to step out of my business for 1.5 years to actually build something? It never would have happened. So I suppose in a way I have to thank it. You have to take your opportunities, and this has been our biggest opportunity. We were a marketing agency to a small number of clients. That was ripped away from us. So, well, What do we do? Do we just sit and stare at the floor and cry? No, let's try and build something, and that's now been our opportunity now, hopefully, to go forward. So you've maybe heard me mention about EZO. What's so special about it? Well, it's, as I say, it's a full e-commerce platform that lives inside HubSpot. Lots of different features. I'm not going to bore you with them all, but it's a 1-minute install. People can have discount coupons. I spent, not summer past, summer before, going through Shopify training videos, BigCommerce training videos, and I was surprised, actually, billion-dollar corporations, some of the things they didn't have. So we can offer coupons. If somebody wants to put a coupon on their website, that's just part of EZO. You can do partial fulfillment, complete fulfillment, depending on what inventory you have. We have an inventory control system. Quick buy links, Stripe launched that in August. We had it in December. So we've actually got some quite innovative things there for just a small local team who looked at the market and looked at what the market might need. And as I say, we have a free website theme. One of the key things, I obviously don't know who's in the audience, but one of the key things, if you're a data person, all the data lives inside HubSpot. If you're bolting on Shopify, if you're bolting on BigCommerce to HubSpot, and if you're a true HubSpot person, you really love your data and you want to use all their powerful automation tools. If you've got some data outside in Shopify coming through the e-commerce bridge and it's only a one-way data flow, well, what are you going to do? EZO has all the data in one place. So that's pretty important. And the other thing as well, we've developed EZO so there's no developer required. I think that's been, I've thrown myself in that one, so if I've gone through all the pain so other people don't have to. I suppose, sorry, I missed one there. The thing I was going to say was, it hasn't been done before, so that was the other thing that's key about it. But some milestones along the way. I didn't realize that accelerator programs was a big thing in the tech world. And HubSpot actually had an accelerator program. So we're working away, as I said earlier. We'd introduced ourselves to HubSpot. They started taking interest in us, and they invited us. As I say, there are 5,500 partners across the world. And every quarter, they have a different theme for their accelerator program, and this was the one for CMS. So we were invited as one of 10 or 11 agencies to take part in that. So that was quite prestigious for a little agency in Belfast. So I was quite pleased with that. We got to present to Brian Halligan and Dharmesh Shah, the founders, and a lot of other great and good in HubSpot. That then led us on. I then got to present at a developer day in HubSpot. You might have picked up that I mentioned that we lost all our clients. Well, that meant the revenue stopped. So there we were as an agency building this with no revenue coming in the door. So thankfully, there were things around like the Innovate UK COVID Business Interruption Grant, which we applied for and managed to get it. And that, in a sense, that allowed us to extend our runway. And we took what we had with EZO, which was our e-commerce system, and we spun out a sister product called Shopbox. And that's going to be quite exciting. We're going to launch that in the new year. And what Shopbox does is it allows independent retailers who maybe can't afford a website, maybe can't afford to get a bespoke app. They log into Shopbox, they put their products in it, and then we port that through the Facebook's API into their Facebook and Instagram shop. And then whenever somebody clicks that, we use EZO's quick buy links to bring them to a pre-populated shopping cart where people can buy it. And then we build their own click and collect local delivery options as well. So Innovate UK provided the funding that allowed us to do that. As you can see, for an agency, this was a complete unknown world to us that we were navigating our way through. I got up one morning, I tend to get up very early these days to get all the work done, and I logged on and I saw this email about DevPost, never heard of DevPost, and they had a HubSpot hackathon. So I just took the marketing materials we had for EZO that we'd put on the HubSpot website, our HubSpot Marketplace website, and put it in, and we won it. So I got a free MacBook Pro, a couple of AirPod Pros, things like that. But the market, they were sort of telling me, we're on to something here, keep pushing. We then, 10 days before TechStart closed, we found out about TechStart. So we actually put in for the Proof of Concept Plus fund, and we were very fortunate to get that as well. So again, having been an agency, a successful, profitable agency who then had the revenue stop in March 2020. This was our way of surviving. Innovate UK, TechStart, and that allowed us to extend our runway as we developed our app. And we're currently using an innovation voucher with the University of Ulster to test the UI of EZO. So what else did we do? Well, I really have to thank the developer community. It could be because I'm used to the marketing world, but I was shocked at how open and how accepting the developer and tech community was in Belfast. I'm not just saying that because I'm at a tech conference here. The amount of 2-hour plus meetings we've had with some really senior people in the community, in the developer and tech community in Belfast, has really helped us because as I say, the things that they told us, the people that they then introduced us to, it was just superb that they then give their time back to us. So Catalyst to begin with, Catagen, Instill, 3EN Group, and even the guys at Haru, they were all super, give us time, and they allowed us to benefit from their experiences. So what next? HubSpot, if you're not aware of HubSpot, HubSpot got many different hubs, the marketing hub, service hub, operations hub, and they have the CMS to build your website. So we have built EZO to work with the CMS. We're currently looking at a prototype that will allow us to take EZO into their biggest hub, which is the marketing hub. So it means if you have a HubSpot Marketing Pro, you can actually then run EZO. We're also looking at prototypes that actually, well, everyone says, well, John, why HubSpot? Well, it's because we know HubSpot. Well, how do we then lift and shift that and take that out then to be a standalone app that it can stand on its own 2 feet? External integrations, I'm aware, obviously, that EZO can't be all things to all people. People might have their own inventory control system, point-of-sale systems, etc. So how do we integrate with them? Various features. We've got a load of features coming up. I have to launch the thing, because there's one thing we need desperately, and that's revenue. I was really taken aback once. I was making a presentation to somebody, and I'm very much focused on, I've got a grand plan, but very much focused at the moment on EZO and making EZO work in HubSpot. And somebody said to me, but John, what's so special about EZO if you do take it outside HubSpot? And that made me think, yeah, I haven't given that enough thought. And I'm not jumping on a bandwagon here, but I really see AI as the future of EZO. I think it's the future of e-commerce. I would like to give ordinary businesses the same level of product recommendation engines that maybe the likes of Amazon have. I saw a great thing on Viz actually last night and it said, why Amazon keeps telling me that, or trying to sell me a product that I bought last week? So why are you then continually trying to market it to me? So I think we might be able to come up with something even better and make that more available to people, so you're not just someone like Amazon who can afford that. So I see AI as a big future for EZO and other things in there, like automated sales and service platforms. But the risks are that getting to market before the money runs out. That's obviously the big thing when you move into the tech world, and we've effectively become a startup all over again. But I'm aware that you're here to listen to me, but also you've heard a lot about HubSpot. So Hugh Durkin, who is one of the product directors in HubSpot in the ecosystem, he's ever since our demo day when we presented EZO to HubSpot, he's been checking in with us every month, 6 weeks with us. So he very kindly wanted to be here today, but unfortunately wasn't allowed. So he's actually put together a video for us. So I'm going to step back so you can actually hear from Hugh. So over to you, Hugh. Can you hear that? No.
Oh, it's still coming out of the screen. You need to change it to come out of your...
We did that earlier.
Did it earlier and it reset?
Yeah.
Let's
I take it out.
come out there quickly. Just
The headphone cord.
Yeah, and then it's back, so that should be here. Do you want to bring her up again?
Hi everybody, hope you're having an amazing day today. Thank you John and Victoria for the invite to participate. Really looking forward to this and excited to be here as well. So as John may have mentioned or alluded to, I'm going to just speak to the App Partner program and get towards the end, kind of speak a little bit to EZO's journey within it and the kind of structure that we've set up to help them build and be successful in the program. So first things first, I'm Hugh, great to meet you all. I've been at HubSpot for about 3 years. I work on the App Partner program team. And if you've got any questions about any of the content today, feel free to just send me a DM on Twitter at Hugh Durkin. Awesome. So what is the opportunity around HubSpot? What is the thing that brings partners like EZO into our world? And it's it kind of looks a little bit like this. We're the number one, our goal and our mission is to be the number one CRM platform for scaling companies. And we want to bring our app partners along too for the journey. So we've been building over the last 15 or so years a set of products that eventually joined together and became a suite. And around that, we've been building this platform. So we, everything in HubSpot land is built around our CRM. So our Sales Hub and CRM are like very well received by the market, as you can see on the right. G2 reviews are excellent there. Same with CMS Hub, same with Marketing Hub, and same with Service Hub. So we've got a full suite of products for almost like any type of business. And we've got a growing ecosystem of developers, app partners, and solutions partners that help those customers be successful. So we're growing, we're scaling, and we want to help our customers in our ecosystem scale too. And the market around HubSpot is pretty big and getting bigger. So we've today around 120,000 customers in over 120 countries. So we're a truly global company and a truly global platform. Within our app partner ecosystem, we have over 800 apps and integrations listed in the app marketplace as of today. It's in around 900, close to as of today, and customers are using a lot of them as well. So on average, HubSpot customers install 7 or more apps, and that's growing all the time as well. So like there's a lot of customers growing into the HubSpot platform through the apps that are in the ecosystem. And 95% of our customers use at least one app. So they're core to the customer journey and core to customer success for HubSpot users. In terms of like the addressable market, last year we came out with a wonderful piece of research by IDC, and it basically articulated the size of the opportunity ahead of HubSpot and ahead of the ecosystem. And they determined that there's about $19 billion, give or take, of new opportunity ahead for partners. So, our ecosystem is growing at even a faster rate than we are in real terms, in dollar terms, which is super exciting. And of that number, the 19 billion, IDC kind of figured out that about 34% of that was going to be spent on add-on software around HubSpot. So in 2021, this year, that's a $2.1 billion opportunity. Again, IDC estimates. And by 2024, that's going to be a $4.2 billion opportunity for partners. So huge momentum and a huge opportunity ahead, and lots of space for innovation as well. So we're at the stage as a platform, as HubSpot, where definitely, our partners are in aggregate making more revenue than we are, which is super exciting. That's the measure of a true platform. I think Bill Gates was one of the first people in the world to kind of speak in those terms. So we're on a journey with partners, and over time, it's just exciting to see that ecosystem and that level of revenue generation grow in tandem with our growth. It's truly a partnership all the way through. In terms of our customer base, you'll notice some really familiar names on there. The likes of eBay, Skyscanner, Monday.com, Trello, which is an Atlassian company, Hopin, which are a huge, fast-growing virtual events company, Calm, a bunch of really well-known names on here, and they're all using HubSpot to grow better and grow their businesses into this new digital era that we're in. So onto the platform itself, which is kind of more my world than HubSpot. We've got a really rich environment for developers to create value for HubSpot customers. So if you want to create like a delightful experience for users between an app that you're building, or even if you're building an integration between an existing product and HubSpot, there's a ton you can use to kind of build that value. So we've got things like CRM cards, which allow you to embed pieces of discrete functionality inside the HubSpot platform, to workflow integrations where you can set up almost like any type of automation possible, really, depending on how a certain piece of customer data might change, or a certain customer event, or any of those kind of things. We've also got things like eCommerce Bridge, which make it super simple for developers to plug or connect HubSpot with other e-commerce platforms, or even create new experiences on top of HubSpot. And then we've got an entire content management system around HubSpot CMS. And that ecosystem is what we call assets. So that includes templates, modules, themes, all different ways to make it easier for customers to create better experiences for their customers. So a ton for developers to play with, and lots of opportunity there. And just to make that a little bit real, this is what CRM cards look like. Another app partner, Spreadsheet Web, they use CRM cards to embed, Excel calculations onto HubSpot contacts and company records for it. So that's a very simple example of what can be done to help make HubSpot users' workflows a little bit more intuitive and easy when working with different sources of data or tools or whatever. Here's an example of workflow integrations in reality. So again, we can set up these enrollment triggers, kind of if-then scenarios, and based on that, you can create almost like any variety of things that might happen based on that. So this specific example is SMS. There's a ton of different ways developers can lean on this to create value and save customers time as well. And last but not least, we're getting to a world where accessing these discrete pieces of functionality are easier than ever. So we have a contextual marketplace now, a simple way within the actual product itself to find tools that might be useful at that particular moment in time. So lots there to play with. And to kind of support developers like Ezo along the way, we give developers a lot of value up front. So we give developers like a free developer portal to build and test with and kind of get a sense for how HubSpot works and the kind of features and functionality in there. We've got world-class API documentation with code samples and those kind of things to help developers get up and running really, really quickly. Client libraries to kind of, again, remove a lot of the work. We have a great team of developer advocates who really go deep with partners and help them kind of tease out and figure out like how to actually build their own roadmap and get up and running. And we're also pretty upfront in terms of like changes on the platform itself. So we've like a pretty up-to-date change log. We like to give developers a good heads up and get their feedback early as well. And all that adds up to this, thriving app marketplace. So like I mentioned before, 800 plus apps and integrations in there at the moment. And again, a lot of familiar names, like the likes of Wistia for like videos, QuotaPath, which is an awesome sales planning tool, Workato for, workflow automations, those kind of things. So lots of, variety in there and lots of connections into all the other tools that you might be using around the HubSpot platform. And this is an example of like the marketplace and the kind of storefront that you get as a partner in there. So you can, we launched this 2 years ago around Inbound 2019, and there's lots you can do as a partner in this environment. I like to think of it as, like a storefront. Like if you imagine in a shopping center, if the landlord gave you a free store, you would tend to, the shop window on a regular basis and kind of try things out. And we make that super simple for partners. We've got a great self-service system to allow developers to include demo videos, share pricing, install kind of setup documentation, those kind of things. And there's lots of sort of trust signals built in as well into the marketplace to help, especially new partners, earn that trust of customers a little bit more quickly. So things like reviews, we show the total number of installs for an app, those kind of things. And when partners like Ezo actually list their products in the marketplace, there's a ton of other benefits that come with that as well. So we've got like a new collection on the marketplace that each app is automatically included in. There's opportunities to sponsor and speak at HubSpot events. We've got great resources for partners in our resource center. And of course, partners are eligible to participate in App Accelerators with our product teams. So more about the App Accelerator itself. So we officially sort of announced the launch of that this year, in May of this year, but we had a few accelerators before the actual public launch itself. And the idea there was to kind of help partners like Ezo kind of figure out like where the opportunities were to create value for customers and actually help them make the creation of that value more real in terms of like, guidance on pricing, guidance through the build phase, guide through the launch phase, those kind of things. So the general structure is a very small group of developers who are invited to attend can get a sense for like where our head's at, like where we see the opportunities. There's like a kickoff event around that. And then from that, there's specific timelines that developers have to meet to actually continue to be involved in the accelerator. And at the end of it, there's a really awesome demo day, which is attended by a lot of our leadership, like Brian, Dharmesh, co-founders, have attended all of them to date. It's just a really good forum to kind of celebrate the innovation that's happening, but also to get partners FaceTime with the leadership at HubSpot and make sure they're being heard as well. So for the specific accelerator that EZO were involved in, the focus of that was CMS and CRM. So kind of thinking through like how developers like EZO can leverage CRM data to create unique customer experiences powered by HubSpot CMS. And what EZO built is awesome. Here's their listing from the app marketplace. They've got really good early traction, and it's a good bundle of app and theme, where in a click you can install both. You can install the connection to HubSpot CRM to kind of make all the data work really well and stay up to date, but also on the front end, the customer's experience is configured in a very simple way and actually connects back to the content management system as well. So really simple, smart idea, and awesome to see what EZO have built there. So I don't want to ruin the surprise, so without further ado, back to John to give you a demo of how it all works. But thank you so much for listening, and thanks again for including us in the day. We really appreciate it.
Okay, so thank you very much, Hugh. I wish you were here today with me, but unfortunately that's the world we live in. So look, I don't want to kill you with videos, but just one very quick video to let you, I've talked a lot about EZO here, but I might as well let you see it. So here we go. Okay, so thanks very much. Just summarize then. So the journey we've just been on, March 2020, clients out the door, don't panic. We looked at what we were good at. We tried to find the pain in the market. We looked for innovation. We didn't want to just do something everybody else had done. We collaborated. We worked bloody hard, 7 days a week. We had a plan, but we kept asking, what's next? What's next? If you're in this position, obviously keep a keen eye on your runway. Do everything possible to keep extending that runway with all the programs that are there. It might seem tedious, but if it keeps you alive, you'll do it. Talk to everybody, anybody that will talk to you. Just take advice from all quarters. Keep on fighting, and don't give up. So thank you very much. And if I just say, we just launched our Instagram account only yesterday. EZO's just coming out of the ground at the moment. We haven't marketed it, we haven't promoted it, so we've just launched it. If you want to follow our journey anymore, please feel free to follow us on Instagram. So thank you. Cheers.